Y plus in CFD. So in this tutorial, we are going to discuss the importance of Y plus, its concept, the difference between Y plus and Y star, how to calculate Y plus, and how to use it in ANSYS Fluent. But first, let's discuss another concept, boundary layer. Prandtl suggested that a flow must be divided into two sections, an outer layer, which is inviscid, and an inner layer, called boundary layer. So, boundary layer is a thin region near wall where viscous forces are dominant and velocity gradients are significant. This wall could be the surface of a car, a boat, or an airplane, anything that is surrounded with a fluid flow. There could be three types of regimes in every flow. The first is a laminar. In a laminar regime, fluid motion is ordered and there are smooth layers of fluid. On the other hand, in a turbulent regime, fluid motion is highly disordered and it usually occurs at high velocities. The third regime is between laminar and turbulent regime, called Transitional regime. Reynolds number can tell us which regime we are studying. But remember, Reynolds number value can be same for two different cases representing two different regimes. Here, as an example, we have pipe flow. In a pipe flow, if it's less than 2300, it's laminar. If it's over 4000, it's turbulent. And if it's something between, it's transitional. As the fluid moves on and forms a boundary layer, and this boundary layer grows with distance, the flow changes from laminar to transitional and then to a turbulent one. In the turbulent boundary layer, there are two main layers. An outer layer, where turbulent forces are dominant, and an inner layer. In inner layer, there are three sublayers. The first one and the closest to the wall is viscous sublayer, where viscous forces are dominant. Then we have a thicker layer called buffer layer. Some, but weak, turbulent forces are observed, but still viscous forces are dominant. And then we have overlap layer. This layer is thicker than buffer layer, and its turbulent forces are stronger than buffer layer, but still not as strong as viscous forces. And they remain dominant. Why do we use wall functions anyway? We estimate the thickness of boundary layer when velocity reaches 99% of the outer flow's velocity. In a turbulent flow, velocity gradient is highly steep and sharp compared to the one of a laminar flow, making turbulent flow's boundary layer very small. And in this short distance of wall, we have viscous sublayer, buffer layer, overlap layer, and outer layer. To capture all that happens in the boundary layer, we have two ways. One, fine mesh approach, meaning using small cells, which is accurate, but time-consuming, and computationally costing, or using wall function approach. In wall function approach, unlike fine mesh approach, we do not need to fully solve Navier-Stokes equations. Instead, we use semi-empirical equations to model what happens in these sublayers. Y plus helps to find the height of the first cell adjacent to the wall so that we can capture what we are looking for, As you can see, each layer has a different range of y+. For example, if you are going to simulate viscous sublayer, y+ needs to be less than 5. The optimal value is 1, so that you can capture the point where viscous sublayer begins. The solid line profile is the typical velocity profile, which is relatively independent of Reynolds number and is achieved through experiments and DNS method. Two equations, one logarithmic, one linear, are used to simulate the profile. As you can see in viscous sublayer, the linear equation is a good match with the profile. And in fully turbulent or log-law zone, logarithmic equation is a good match. In outer region, the equation diverges from the profile. And in the buffer zone, both equations are inaccurate. In many systems, y+ equals 11.225 works as a threshold. If y+ is more, we use logarithmic equation. If it's less than 11.225, we use linear equation. But inaccuracy still exists. Anyway, how do we calculate y+? Well, y+ is not what you are looking for. You're looking for y, the height of the first cell. Y+ is actually one of your input parameters among velocity, density, viscosity, and characteristic lengths. First step is to calculate Reynolds number. If it's an external flow, you use characteristic length, and if it's an internal flow, you use hydraulic diameter, which is used for non-circular tubes and channels. After that, you are able to estimate friction coefficient. Remember, there are many suggested friction coefficient equations. Use the one that suits your case. After that, you can calculate wall shear stress. When you have wall shear stress, you have velocity. And after that, you can calculate y. Calculating y+ is not always easy because you need y, you need velocity, and you need wall shear stress. And these three parameters are dependent to each other. So to have their value, you need iteration, which takes time and is costly. So we use another parameter, y star. Y star and y+, they are very similar. They are both grid resolution parameters, with the difference that y+ uses wall shear stress to calculate velocity. But y star uses turbulent kinetic energy to calculate velocity. For majority of cases, y+ and y star are similar, but y+ is designed for the flow on a flat surface, but y star could be used for more general flows. A good news is that CFD-Land is here to help you. You don't need to worry yourself about calculating y+. CFD-Land does that for you. All you need to do is to go to the section of calculators in website and choose y+ calculator. Then you enter characteristic lengths, density, free stream velocity, dynamic viscosity, and desired y+. And it presents to you Reynolds number and estimated first cell thickness. So at the end, is it useful to use wall function approaches? Yes! You don't have numerical instability. It reduces computational cost, works for high Reynolds number, and has the accuracy you are looking for. Y+ setting in ANSYS Fluent. In Viscous model box, there is a part called near wall treatment. This part has several options. The difference between these options are in the functions they use for modeling and the situations that they are used for. For example, standard wall function and non-equilibrium wall function are used when y plus is between 30 to 300, or enhanced wall treatment is used when y plus is less than 5. It is used for viscous sublayer. Or standard wall function is not suitable when there is a backflow, and non-equilibrium wall function is good when there is a strong pressure gradient, reattachment, sudden changes, and separation. So, at the end, remember, wall function is not suitable for buffer layer. Wall function will not yield good results when there is a strong pressure gradients, separation, and curvature. Even if you choose y plus equals 5, the result will be uncertain. If possible, choose y plus equals 1. You get the best results. And remember to compare your results with experiments. And the suitable range for y plus is 30 to 300.